everybody, right here on 5 News Plus for some more 5 Outdoors. We've got a friend back with us. You already know her. This is Haley Robinson. She's with Northwest Arkansas Trout Unlimited. She's also a conservation and outdoors teacher at Lincoln High School. Haley, good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us here for some more. We're talking about Trout Camp specifically today. It's that time of the year again. We're already looking ahead to apply for it. But maybe someone missed our previous conversations about what Trout Camp is. I want you to dive into the magic and the fun of Trout Camp.
So Trout Camp started, this will be our fourth year. I went to a national meeting in Maine with my husband for Trout Unlimited, and there was a really cool event going on, and they were raising money for some of their scholarship spots for Trout Camp called Maine Trout Camp because it was for the whole state. Uh, I had a big problem with charging kids to do that stuff. I work at a very low income school district and I'm a parent as well. And life is just expensive. Experiences don't necessarily have to be. And educational experiences should come at minimum at a low cost. So we made it free. We brought it back here. We tried to get sponsorships specifically for each kid. So we asked people to sponsor a trout camper. And then we put their names on the shirts that all the kids get to take home at the end of it. And then we also have volunteers that come in that we don't have to pay, and they help teach these kids how to fish, how to tie flies, how to clean fish, how to do macroinvertebrate studies, how to do all that cool stuff as well. And it's just turned into this big, beautiful 5-day experience. And it's honestly my favorite week of the entire year now. I look forward to it almost as soon as it's over.
So, Haley, what are the dates of Trout Camp and why are we talking about things now? Let's get those applications in, right?
Yes. So we only have 14 spots, and I actually checked this morning. We already have 20 applicants, and we just started it this week. So I'm trying to get the word out there so that kids every year coming to me like, oh, I didn't know that this was a thing, and I didn't know that it was free, or I didn't know the dates or something. And so we're pushing it out earlier and earlier each year. Also keeping parents in mind. Like I need to know where my kids are going to be for each week of the summer if I'm working. And so we're trying to get in to ensure that everybody has the opportunity to apply and to plan for that. So we're going to have a deadline of January 31st. Applications are on our Facebook page, and we will let parents know by the time our banquet rolls around on February 28th.
This is really such an immersive experience, unmatched for something that gives the kids not only something to learn from, to experience from start to finish. It costs a lot. What's the dollar value, if you don't mind sharing, per student, per attendee?
So we cover all their meals, their fly tying equipment, their fly rod for the week, and then they get to actually take that home. And we get breaks. Orvis is a huge supporter of Trout Unlimited, and they give us a pretty good discount on some encounter fly rod combos. And then we also have Riverview Resort, who gives us a big discount and cuts off that week for us. And we set those dates pretty much as soon as we leave Trout Camp each year. We look forward to the next summer, and Riverview Resort and Tim Salmonson will make sure that they're blocked out for us. But even with all of that, it's about $650 per camper to get them through the week for all of the experiences.
That's incredible. Oh, truly incredible work you guys are doing there. On the same topic of conservation and kids and students, you're also an educator there at Lincoln High School, and
Yes.
there's a trout tank literally right behind you. We talked about the trout hatchery crisis here on 5 OUTDOORS last week. Um, in many ways, this is an opportunity for your students to learn the importance of conservation hands-on in a different way. I'm curious about how you've addressed that in the classroom, how this has impacted you guys there at Lincoln.
So we've been actually talking about it before we even brought the eggs in with Trout Camp. We're very worried. As a nonprofit that is cold water conservation, we're very concerned about the future of trout in Northwest Arkansas right now because regulations, even with them changing, it's been difficult getting the word out. And we're hearing from our guides that people are not adhering to the new regulations, stating that they're not hearing about it. And I don't know how much more out there we need to be, but we have advocates on the water every weekend trying to explain to people, like, please just put them back. just for now, let's just put them back and let them grow and let them stay so that we can maintain the numbers and biodiversity within these organisms for another year until we can figure out the best way to move forward. But Norfolk Hatchery is where we get our trout eggs, and we have a program called Trout in the Classroom that was already underway. And then when these problems started happening with the hatchery, they said, okay, well, we're just going to give you some extra eggs because they'll probably have just as good of a chance in those tanks, which all of these eggs are grown up over the course of this year. And I've got a little shortage problem there. All of these tanks are grown up. All the eggs, anyway, are grown up over the course of a year. And
Haley, we have
what
no
just
clue.
happened?
We have no clue how that happened.
Do I just keep going?
Yeah, let's just roll with it. This is
All right.
live. Why not?
That
Yeah.
was that was fun. If you're
We'll ask
excited.
questions later.
So over the course of a year, we grow these into fingerlings, then we release them below Beaver Dam. It's all permitted through Arkansas Game and Fish. These are federally protected organisms. So normally we get, about 150 eggs. We got close to double that this year because, again, like, we're just trying to do our part, even in classrooms across Northwest Arkansas, to try to promote the future of these fish.
I think it's a sad and tragic situation overall, but if anyone is able to take advantage of it and find some silver lining, I'm happy that it's you and your classroom with your students, and hopefully a year from now we're talking about a very different situation there. But nonetheless, it's a topic that, of course, is very important to you guys at Trout Unlimited, and is your role as a teacher.
Absolutely. And Justin Keene is our Trout in the Classroom coordinator. So he's actually managed, when I was Trout in the Classroom coordinator, we had about 8 tanks. We have 13 now.
Wow.
So 13 schools have the setup that I have right behind me, including this one here at Lincoln High School. And they all have extra eggs this year. And we are hoping to put a bunch of them below Beaver Dam this spring.
Well, number one, when you do that, I want to know about it. I want to get our cameras out there for that. Number two, what are the students thinking? What are they talking to you about as you've kind of shared this hatchery issue and how your tanks in your classroom is impacted by that?
So most of them, for the most part, seem fairly uninformed, which is okay
Sure.
because they're not fly anglers. They're not trout fishermen. We are about an hour or more from the tailwater. So it's okay that they're not informed, but they're surprised that hatcheries can fail, even with all the funding that we have for those and all of these incredibly intelligent and capable people with the Game and Fish Commission. That problems happen, and it results in serious situations, at least with populations of organisms like trout. And so it's just created a lot of conversation about careers. It's created conversation about science, future of these populations. How is this going to impact our field trips? So because we do go trout fishing every single year, but more than anything, these kids are wanting to talk about these little guys behind me. They did hatch this past weekend, and so now they're in what we call the alvin stage. So they're living off of yolk sacs, and eventually they're going to swim up to the top of this tank, pop their yolk sacs, and then start free swimming. And so they look funny. They look like alien tadpoles, backwards tadpoles right now. And so they're really just focused on the biology that's happening behind me and less so on the conservation part. And we're just trying to sneak that kind of knowledge in there when we can.
It's the best possible way to do it. Haley, thank you so much for joining us here on 5 Outdoors. You know the drill. Anytime you guys have something going on, just holler at me. We'd love to have you on. And I mean it. When you guys release those fish down in the tailwaters, we want to know about it. Work Northwest Arkansas Trout Unlimited is doing is important. Haley's work as an educator and her colleagues across the area in the classroom as well. That'll do it for this edition of 5 Outdoors. We'll see you guys back here for more coming up next week.